Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Craig.
Good afternoon.
I
Good
called
afternoon.
you
Good afternoon.
twice today, but we couldn't connect.
It's because I had you on Do Not Disturb.
Very nice. Very
I was trying to
nice.
sleep, and we don't have the show till later on. We don't have the show till later on, and she still calls me like at 9 in the morning.
It wasn't that
and
important,
things,
but
yeah, right. So
I kinda missed
and
you.
and I always say that's why if that's the case, let's wait till later.
But I haven't talked to you like for 2 days.
Yesterday.
Yeah, so I kind of missed
See how
you.
long it seems?
I
Yeah,
did.
that's
I
all
really
it is.
did.
It really is.
I really did. So how's things? Good?
Good. You know, I had to go to Connecticut for another Kiwanis thing. Well, Kiwanis, but business. And I had a good time. It was really peaceful, and everyone's so nice. You know, when you go out, when you drive out or fly out of New York,
Oh, yeah.
you were just so relaxed.
Very true.
You know, and then and it's like everybody says hello to you. So when somebody says hello to me, it's like I turn around and I'm like watching my back or something, you know, just in case. You know, it's just that's that New York mentality of mine. But yeah, everybody was just so nice, so kind, and I love you guys out there, really.
It's a good
They
feeling.
just such. And then, but as soon as I'm driving back, all of a sudden now I start
it's starting to get
my
right.
blood pressure starts going, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, I was just talking to Richie about that. I said, either I'm finding these days that people are extremely nice or extremely nuts. There's no middle ground. They're either bipolar or really, really sweet, you know?
Or like my ex-wife, tripolar.
Try it, right?
I never heard of that.
That's way over.
But, you know, not to say bipolar is bad, because once you're treated, you're fine,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, take
But the
medicine.
thing is I have a few friends that are, and I learned how to cope
You
with
know how
it.
many people really are? You don't
Yeah,
even
but I
realize
learned
it.
how to cope with it. I didn't know how to deal with it before. Now, I
I gotta
smile
deal with
to-
it with
I
you.
smile. I'm not bipolar. I'm normal.
I love that. That was a good one. I love that. I'm normal. She just,
I'm honest.
yeah, define normal.
I tell you the truth, so that's normal. At least you know where you're coming from.
Okay.
All right. So I like your sunburn as always. You're getting burned
Thanks.
every
Well,
day.
that was, you know, it's I never have the opportunity to go out and sit outside.
I know, too busy.
You know, so I just had my shirt off and I was
Whoa,
just and I'm
shirt
just
off.
relaxing.
Where? I never saw you with your shirt off.
Okay, anyway, that's another show. All right, you know what? Let me just say what today is.
What is today?
Today is National Lottery Day, so go out there and a dollar in a dream. You know, you just
do
never
it,
know what'll
guys.
happen.
Do it once.
You know, you never know, and
But
that's
you
what I
should.
say. But to me in general, it's like people. When I don't know, I like to gamble, but I don't like to gamble anymore. You know, because
Well,
I
I'm
know
common.
I was a craps gambler, so that means you play.
I like numbers.
I play hard, and I mean you win hard, but you lose hard.
Yeah, well,
You know what
I
mean?
don't do that way. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm a numbers player.
Are you?
But since it's lottery day and you guys are all here, I suggest you leave here, go play 50 cents straight, 50 cents spot, 157. That's our number.
That's it.
That's our number. You just never know.
What is it, a lotto?
Yeah, you go to the candy store. 50 strengths, it's $1. 50 straight, 50 bucks, 157.
Okay.
It's a lucky address because
And if that
the
thing
Breakfast
comes out,
Club-
well, I'll tell you, you better not forget us.
the Breakfast Club never
Better
had a
not
home,
forget us.
so this is our home now, so it's a lucky number for me.
You know.
Yep. So it's a very special day today for a very good friend who's a movie star, Sal Valentinetti. Happy birthday!
Oh, it's his
honey.
birthday today.
His
Oh.
birthday is 7 days after mine, and we totally share a birthday now.
I didn't know
And
that.
Sal is coming on the show
Wonderful.
in a few weeks.
Yeah, the voice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
And we had
The
a nice
voice.
conversation, and
Yeah.
actually he was concerned about you
Was he?
because
Oh.
of this whole thing with the bars and the tickets and all that. I
Right,
said,
right,
oh,
right,
Greg
right.
has it under control. He knows exactly what's
Oh,
allowed.
that's so nice of him.
Yeah, no, he
Very
really, and
nice
you
of
know
him.
what? He gave you a big compliment. He really did, a big compliment. He goes, Greg is the nicest guy in the world.
Well,
I'm so
that's the
thrilled."
truth. It's not like
No,
he's
I
lying.
know
or-
it is,
You're
but-
telling the truth. It's
No,
a different story,
but
you know?
he
I love
respects-
that. Like, it's a big
No,
compliment.
He respects what you did. No, what you
Really?
did at the Breakfast Club.
Oh, really?
You know,
Oh, okay.
and he has some other comments I'll tell you later that kind
Okay.
of.
All
But
right, sounds good.
anyway, welcome everybody. Let's take a drink. Everybody
Cheers,
gets
cheers,
Italian
cheers.
bread on this show.
Salute, salute, salute.
You
Cheers,
take
cheers,
the bread,
cheers.
you take the bread home because Italians believe in
That's it.
breaking
Damn,
bread.
you already drank yours already?
Yeah, you know,
Oh,
gotta
shit.
loosen up.
It's already made my trip worse.
So you have to take it home and have it with Mom. You got the whole week, because this is from the Fresh Bakery, because
Oh, beautiful.
I figured
Thank
you'd like that.
Thank you.
And everybody
Yes.
got a piece of bread, and you break bread when you come to the Breakfast Club. Why? My father. He taught me from day one, and Greg's Italian too, so he believes in it, and it's an everyday thing, and we're noted for the show because our Italian bread. So, and wine.
That's right.
It's not sort of holy when you think
I was
about
gonna
it.
say,
Bread and
yeah,
wine.
this one was for the
Are we
wine.
holy?
That's it. Very holy.
Yeah, we're very holy. Back in the day, I was on the Father Tom Hartman show many years ago. You remember that?
I was just reading about
The
it.
cartridge recycling program.
Think about it.
He made me do a commercial, and I had to hold the cartridge recycling things and throw them. Because
Did
they
you?
were, they were raising money, the kids.
Right.
And we had to throw the cartridges and say, collect the cartridges.
The things Valentine is
Oh, so anyway, that was fun. It was fun. But,
So we have to introduce our guest.
yes,
while
of
I'm
course.
fiddling with this.
Okay, so we have this wonderful Richie Scotty, who is like everything, performer, actor, impressionist, singer.
He's everything.
Not singing.
Well,
You can sing.
you'll sing with
Stop.
me
3 black
somewhere.
Sabbath vocals, you know.
Yeah,
do a little
we'll
Sinatra.
sing at Chorizo's when you come.
I'll do one Sinatra.
Okay.
It has to be black Sabbath vocals.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, and we also have Janice Blake, author, jockey, Long Island Angel.
Oh, you're an angel?
Yes,
Oh, right.
lives here right in town. Beautiful, pretty. And I was reading, your pictures on the horses and reading like how to be a jockey. That's a great book. What it's like to be a jockey. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the famous Frank Pomada, who I know for years and years. Every interview.
Frank, were you married to her
No.
in the past?
Look, I would love to.
He's still an answer. No, he just laughed about it.
Feels
Okay.
that way.
Well, exactly. We had our share of shit together, right, Frank? Jobs, no jobs, helping people out of jobs,
Frank, you won't believe.
nonprofits, the
National
college,
Council.
and then when you were going to be the mayor or whatever in Glen Cove, right?
I was working for the city.
Yeah, exactly. So, welcome, Frank. And Frank has two things going on. He is, what is your title? Labor technician. That's a weird title.
It's a confusing title. We were just discussing that. Let's just call me a labor counselor for the Suffolk County Department
Of labor, which is a big job.
Absolutely.
What is SWEP? S-W-E-P.
That is called the Suffolk Works Experience Program. What we try to do, my department, within the Department of Labor, we help folks who are public assistants back into their
You got a tough job.
re-entry the job market. And that is a
I
tough
know, I was
population.
in there.
So, but
I was in
it's
there
very
for that.
gratifying. I actually
Well, you also
five-
loved it.
5 people this month who told me they got jobs.
And that's the best feeling, isn't it?
And
Especially
it
during
was
a tough
with
time.
mine. Now,
Yeah, during a
they
tough
did
time.
a lot of work. So it's very satisfying to work with
And
them.
you're working on 3 children's books.
I have, I'm up to my 9th and I'm working on my 10th right
So
now.
you have already 8 books published.
9.
Wow.
How come I haven't gotten one?
Oh, sorry, I'll have to cite you one. I'm an accidental children's author. It's my grandson's fault. I have a lovely 8-year-old grandson, and this kid was obsessed with garbage trucks as a little baby.
You gotta talk a little louder. Yes.
So,
Okay.
I read on a yellow pad a little story one morning, the boy who loved garbage trucks. Well, my wife says, you gotta publish it. So he has a keepsake. I says, oh my God. So I had to go do research. I self-published it on his website. I got my copy. He gets a copy. And
The rest is history.
9 books later, yeah.
That's
So,
great.
you know, yeah,
So where do we buy them?
that's fun. The website's called thebookpatch.com.
Oh, you
Just
did send me
Google-
that.
You just Google my name and the book patch. And
Oh, so it's like a company that sells the book, or it's you?
I put it on their bookshelf.
Oh, very
So
nice.
They ask your permission if they can sell a particular book.
Very
So,
nice.
yeah, so I got 9 on there.
And then you're in a famous book, From Fire to Freedom. You're in my book.
What day? Yes, I was a contributor.
So what was the title of your story?
My story was called How I Fired Myself and Found Myself. Sometimes it's not the company that fires you, sometimes you fire yourself. That's an interesting story.
So you want to elaborate a little or no?
You have to read the book.
I quote, you gotta buy
Yeah, you gotta buy the book. You gotta buy the book. It's one of those. You gotta buy the book.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, but, you know, you were part of the whole process.
I was honored to be a part.
I know, and the
It
party we had was great.
was a lovely launch party.
Hey, you even got a present that night, award and everything. So, but, yeah, we're going to talk more about the Department of Labor. How did you come to write your book?
Well, it's a very interesting story. My niece, my little niece at the time, was horse crazy, and she came to visit me at the racetrack. And I was showing her around, and you know, you stand on the side of the horse, and this is how you carry the saddle, and you do this and that, and this, don't do this, don't do that, come over here. So I went home and I started writing down a list for her about what to do, what not to do. Don't talk to these guys. kind of
Stay away
thing.
from these. Let me fix that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix that point. Get it started good so I can hear
Okay.
it.
And so I started writing all this stuff down, and I have an extensive background in horseback riding, so all this stuff started pouring out of me, and you know, about the 12th or 13th page, I thought, you know, this would be really good information for anybody, because nobody really knows what goes on behind the scenes at the racetrack. They all know that the horses have to exercise every day, but what does that mean? How do they get to the track, and who takes them, and what do they do when they come back, and why do they stay in their stall all day, and who takes them out, and
It's a lot of people involved, correct?
yeah, it's very labor intensive. Yes, hard labor. you know.
Now, do you know Mr. Duggan? He was just on the show a few weeks
Absolutely.
ago.
Yeah, and his
well,
wife
he was,
and his
yes,
two kids.
great people.
Oh my
They're,
God, adorable kids.
they're Breakfast Club members,
Oh, awesome.
and he was on the show a few weeks ago.
I think I was talking to somebody about that the last time we had a breakfast.
Yes,
And yeah, they're very interesting people.
yes, yes.
Mhm.
Larry's a
And
dog.
he's a good horseman too. And his wife is
Yeah.
just excellent.
You're very good people.
So when did you get into horses? What age?
Well, I grew up in suburbia in Indiana, so there weren't many horses around. But since the age of 4, I've been wanting to be a jockey. I don't even know how I knew
Really?
what a jockey was when I was 4. But I just kept after horse. Every time I see a horse, I go, there's a horse, there's a horse. And so when I was 13, I had a paper route.
Keep talking. I'm sorry. I just have to fix it because it's just adjusted. Yeah.
Okay, when I was 13, I had a paper route, and I saved all this money. I was going to buy a moped so I could deliver my papers easier than a bicycle. And then I got a job at the stables, at the riding stables, and everybody had a horse but me. So I took my $346 and I bought a horse.
With $346?
He was $400, but I borrowed $56 from my neighbor next door.
Not realizing horses aren't expensive. It's just expensive to maintain.
Well,
That's the trick.
the
which I
thing
didn't know.
was, I was working at the stables and I was a trail guide. So the deal was, if I got this horse, I would use him as a lead horse. And that way, when I had a job there, I was a lead rider, but I had to use one of the trail horses, one of the livery horses, to ride the lead. So that way I was taking one horse out of circulation that they could use to rent. So when I got my own horse, I used my own horse as the lead horse, so that was freeing up another horse for them to rent. So the deal was, if I used my horse as a lead pony, a lead horse, I didn't have to pay board on the horse. So I threw him out with the rest of the horses, and they just throw straw or hay to him, and grain in the morning and grain at night, and then he goes out with the rest of the horses, and it's just like pour more water in the soup.
So basically, it was from when you were a child, and you just grew and grew and grew, and
Yeah, that
started
happened.
riding, and
That happened when I was 13, and then this guy showed up at the stables, and he was from the East Coast, and we were all starry-eyed at this guy because, you know, he's from the East Coast, New Jersey, and I started taking lessons with him. I was a working student, which means basically you're a slave, and you know, and he's supposed to give you a lesson for the work that you've done, you know, and we're like a redheaded stepchild. We're always the last to get the lessons and all that, and so, but I was just you know,
Passionate, I guess,
Yeah.
right? You wanted it.
and I was with horses all day, and I was working with horses, so it's like I would do it
For nothing.
if I didn't get a lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
But the other kids were getting lessons, you know, like the rich kids would come in and they'd get their lesson, and I'd watch their lesson. And then I
So
would
you
go.
you just looked around, you watched,
Right.
you grasped.
Yeah, I had a broom in my hand, so I was sweeping the aisle, looking at the lesson.
Wow.
You know?
That's a great story.
Yeah, so that's how I kind of learned, you know, on a shoestring, and then one thing led to another, and I just kept focused on horses, and the boys are over there, and the horses are, you know, just horses, riding and learning and wanting to be the best rider I could be, and that's how I.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Really. And you know, now you became a Long Island Angel.
Mhm.
That's because you do so much in the community. So
Yeah.
congrats.
Yeah, I really, that's so gratifying to me.
Oh, I love being part of it. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, it's the best people I've met
Mm-hmm.
in nonprofit. They're the
Mhm.
best women in the world,
Mm-hmm.
and they really care about everybody.
Right, we all have the same goal, the same mission,
Yes.
so it's very easy to get along.
So now are you still riding?
I'm not.
Is there a
I-
reason, or just because it's time to stop?
Well, both.
Okay.
The reason was I hit the ground going 40 miles an hour, and I rolled. And then when I got up, I realized subsequently, after being in the hospital, whatever, getting MRIs and stuff, that I have stenosis of the cervical and stenosis of the lumbar, and
Is that all from the years or from the
yeah,
fall?
it's both.
Okay.
It's both. You know, it's just jumping up and down on the horse and
The
being,
wear and tear. Trust me,
yeah,
I
you know, just hitting the ground and not bouncing, kind of thing, and spondylolisthesis. I can't say
So
it.
this book kind of helped you through the change, right?
Well, no, I wrote this book before,
And now you're writing another
and
one.
now I'm writing another one. It's kind of what I just told you.
Right. So
Of
it's
all that and-
progression.
yeah, and resilience, and it's like an inspirational, and
Great.
these are the trials that I went through and I just kept focused on the horses, and there's so many distractions, and it's just to focus, and then it's also, I'm now an animal advocate, an animal activist, so I'm not, you know, PETA's line is, you shouldn't even ride horses.
Right.
But I'm not that extreme, you know, I don't believe that. But I don't think that we should be abusing animals the way that
Oh,
we have
absolutely
been.
not.
Yeah, it's time. So I'm a voice for the voiceless, so to speak. And the book is kind of an expose
Of what goes on.
of the racetrack.
Wow.
And I'm not going to be naming names and pointing fingers, but I do go into what happens and why it happens,
Wow.
and why it happens. So they're not going to be too happy, but it needs to be,
Said.
because the racetrack is like a boys' club, and I mean that from the upper echelons, and they're all tight-lipped about everything that goes on, and they all protect each other's back, and
Yeah, keep talking. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and
Go ahead.
you know, the Italians, you know, being a rat is the worst thing you could ever be,
Really?
ever.
We're Italian here.
Yeah, you know,
Through and
We
through.
passing out your lung, your liver,
Yeah.
instead of breaking bread. No.
Yeah, you know, my feeling is, do you know, there was this big 3M scandal years and years ago. Do you know who blew the whistle? A woman. In Iceland, when all this went down in 2008, and all the credit and all this, Iceland is the only country in the world that came through it unscathed.
Alive.
And you know who runs the country in Iceland? Women. So,
There you go, girl.
you know,
Women.
All right. Rich,
come on
Rich,
now.
Rich. All right. I need to. There we
Let's
go.
say
All
it
right.
for the women.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting.
I really feel that. I feel that intensely, that women are just we're more naturally compassionate because we have children and we have to protect the
Well,
children.
men do too, you know.
They do. I'm not saying they don't, but for women, it comes naturally.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
men have to learn.
Right.
Look,
All right, we're gonna come back to that. That's a whole different
So
segment.
what's the name of the book? What's the name of the book
What's the name
gonna
of the
be?
actually, I don't have a book yet.
Right.
I don't
cover.
have- I don't
You
have
don't
a
have
name.
any?
Oh, you don't have an name for it?
But I do 2,000 words per chapter. I'm going to do 25 chapters. I've got 13 and a half chapters done right
Excellent,
now.
Good for
excellent,
you.
good. Good.
So I'm just getting rolling.
Momentum, yeah,
But
that's
you're
it.
gonna
That's
be
a momentum,
mighty.
yeah.
And I just explained everything
Giddy up.
and how
That's it.
I got to where I got, and now I'm into the racetrack.
Excellent, good, good.
Congrats, really.
All right, congrats,
Thank
congrats.
you. And you'll
All right.
be back when you
We'll get back
finish
on
it.
that.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Rich.
Richie.
Talk to me,
Maybe
baby.
a tip on the lottery, 150. I was hoping you were still riding.
That's it,
Well,
right?
I had actually a good tip today, but I think the races are over.
Anytime you have any of those tips, call my
All
number.
right, that's
Really?
it.
I have one.
All right, Mr. Rich, talk to us. What's going on? What's new?
Trying to keep busy under the circumstances. So I'm writing a little bit too. I have a couple of screenplays I'm working on. Anything to do with entertainment.
A little closer.
Closer. Is that better?
Right.
Yeah,
There we
that's
go.
what-
Yeah,
loud, yeah.
Not in the nose.
So,
Don't make out.
So I do.
There we go.
I do my comedy. I'm doing a little stuff, posting some stuff to YouTube videos that I'm editing myself, just to show what kind of voices I can do. And I do, the new movie stars, some of the old movie stars.
Just keep talking, just keep
Okay.
talking. All right.
What are you doing to him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Touching him over there? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
okay, yeah.
What kind of show is
That's
this?
it. Go ahead.
So,
Rich, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it's okay. So, I was talking to Valentino. Oh, he really is. Very friendly. So when I met
Ooh,
Valentina,
show today,
I
boy,
gave her my
I
whole background. I always wanted to be involved in entertainment from the time I was like 18, 19 years old. My father had a printing company, and I was like Jimmy Stewart in A Wonderful Life. I did not want to be involved. So I wound up moving out to Las Vegas in my early 20s, and back then, no cell phones. 2 cars, 4 guys. We drove. We made it in 2.5 days. We left New York January 3rd, 5 degrees out. We get out past Arizona. It's like 70 degrees. Nobody could get a job. There was 3 nightclubs at the time. This is 1980. And Paul Anka's Jubilation, which was owned by the Chicago mob.
Love
A
it.
place called the Brewery, and those were the 2 straight clubs, and then there was a gay club called the Gypsy. So I went to go hear the DJ at Jubilation, big club, and the doorman was Steve Sharippa, Bobby Bacala from The Sopranos. He's on Blue Blood. So I walk in, I hear the DJ. He's not mixing. You're supposed to blend one record into the next. So what kind of DJs do they have out there? So I walk up, I start talking to the guy, and I said, "You guys mix a little different. You don't actually mix." He goes, No, I cut carrots in the kitchen. They fired the real guy for doing cocaine." I said, "Get out of here." Like the day before, so my timing was perfect. So I start talking to Steve Sharippa. He goes, "Where you from?" I said, "From Queens." He goes, "Brooklyn, close enough. Go get your records." And I was there 3 years.
Really?
It was, Paul Anka owned it. It was a huge club, and it held about 2,000 people. Like half the crowd was movie stars. Wherever they were appearing in town, Caesar's Palace and whatever hotels, they'd come after the show. So you'd be, the DJ booth was way up, and they had a VIP area. But you'd look and see Sammy Davis Jr., Tom
Right.
Jones.
Wow, that's a good history.
Every night, I called my mother. I was like, "Ma, I can't believe who I just met." And I got to know. I got autographs from them. I met Rich Little, and I was an impressionist.
Oh, really?
I did
Oh.
my version of his John Wayne thing. And then
He's no joke.
oh, he was the
no
best.
joke. Yep.
And I think my father was a tough guy. Grew up in East Harlem. He was a Golden Glover. Came from nothing. Started his own business, and hard to impress. And I think it's the only time I ever impressed my father. Andy Anka was the owner with his son, and he ran it. Paul Anka was the namesake. Paul Anka was playing at Caesar's Palace, and my parents were coming to visit. This was like a year after I was there, coming out with my aunt and uncle. And I said, "Mr. Anka, can you do me a favor? Can you get me a table? Just let me know what it is. I want to do something nice for my parents." So he goes, "No, don't be silly. I'll get it taken care of." I found out the next day. What they did was, here's the stage. They took a table and for my parents and butted it right against the stage. My aunt and uncle were right here, and then everybody else. So in the middle of the show, he pulls down his slide, and Times of Your Life comes on, and he's talking about his daughter. He only had daughters, he's talking
Oh,
about
he
his
had daughters, wives, so forget it, now he has a son.
Right. So he's talking about his kids. He goes, speaking of kids, my disc jockey, Richie Scotty's parents are in from New York. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Makes them stand up, shakes my father's hand, gives my mother a rose.
Wow.
And the next day my mother calls me, like almost whispering, even your father was impressed, you know?
Aw, that's a cute
And
story.
I do remember.
Yeah,
And I was
never
like, you know
forgot
what,
that.
yeah. you
Never
know?
forgot it.
Well, we go see him all the time. I'm a fan.
He still sounds
He
good.
sent me an anniversary present for my 25th. My daughter conjured somewhere how to get it.
He was great. He was a
But
nice guy.
we see him at Westbury all the time.
But I made friends out of that. The crosstown DJ was at the other club was from Canarsie, Brooklyn, Frankie Annabelle, and he was we were rivals, and I thought I was the first white rapper of all time because I used to rap in the club. 1980, Sugar Hill Gang had rappers
Right.
like in '79.
That's right.
They walk in one night with Kool in the Gang, and I announced them, and you know everybody's going crazy. I tried to coax them into doing Rapper's Delight, so they waving me off. So finally, I get them in the booth. I'm cutting up records, and you know they're rapping Master G and Wonder Mike, and I said, "Pass the mic." So they looked at me like I was crazy. This is 1980. There's no Vanilla Ice, no
Yeah.
Beastie Boys.
Right, right.
So they pass the mic. I start going to this rap about the club. Next thing you know, I hear there's another rapper in town who does the same thing at the brewery. So I said, "It can't be." So I get off at 4:30 in the morning. That club was 24 hours, 3 DJs, 8 hours each. I open the door. As I open the door, he's on the mic. It was a coupe, a caddy, a Lincoln Continental, and if it wasn't stolen, it must have been a rental. I was like, so almost 40 years later, we're still best friends. Frankie went on to, he got the key to the city. He was the first DJ to put nightclubs in hotels. So he approached the MGM Grand, and they bought the rights to Studio 54, The Man in the Moon, the
Right,
logo,
right,
the whole
yeah.
thing. And in '98, they reopened, and guess who was the DJ for 7 years? Every holiday weekend, he flew me out. Yeah.
How nice.
And then they opened
Nice.
an ultra lounge called Taboo, all movie stars, and like I said, we still talk once a week, and I haven't been out there because of what's
Right.
going on, but
That's terrific.
Yeah.
And you do 50,000
I
impressions.
do a ton of
When
impressions. And
did you start doing that?
when I was a kid, I was like 12, 13. Back then, giving my age away, I was doing like Nixon, you know, let me say this about that. and you know, John Wayne, and well, listen and listen tight, Greg. You know, so
Right.
all the old timers, Cagney. Now lately, I do Morgan Freeman. I guess I just miss my friend Andy. Andy Dufresne swam through 500 yards of crap, came out clean on the other side. Andy Dufresne.
It's good.
Very good.
Right. I do some of the obscure ones, not obscure, but Pee Wee Herman. I do.
Yeah, really mature, Greg. That's my name. Don't wear it out, okay? What?
I do Ray Babbitt. Let's see, what could I do for Ray Babbitt?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
Fish sticks.
Yeah, definitely fish sticks.
Of course, I'm not wearing any shorts right now, Valentina.
Get her excited
what
right
about going to the store? Kmart. He always went to Kmart.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. And then his brother tells him, Kmart sucks, Ray. You got mad at him.
Yeah.
And after that,
Yes, he
Kmart
did.
closed.
Yes, he did. He went there all. Yes, he did.
And then he wanted to learn how to dance and kiss the woman.
Yes, this
Yes.
very twinkly, very sparkly.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that in the movie. Very good, really.
I do, you know, the guys from The Godfather, Al Pacino,
Oh, I
Brando.
love him.
So I like doing it. I do early Pacino because now Pacino, as he got older, seems to scream everything.
Yeah, he does.
Does he?
Yeah, everything is hoo-ah, you know, it's like
Right,
it's
right,
over
right.
the top.
Yeah, he's a little
Back
nutty.
then, he was more.
You know what I just saw with him in the. I never watched Serpico to the end.
Oh,
you know,
that's a
Love
great
that movie.
movie.
the whole
Great movie.
entirety. You know?
That's early
And
Pacino.
yeah, and I gotta tell you,
It was good.
I mean, he played a good role.
Yeah.
Did you know he didn't win an Oscar? He was, I think it was him. He hasn't won an Oscar. I think it was only for Scent of a Woman.
Right.
The only Oscar out of all the movies that this guy was in, and he got an Oscar for Scent of the
That
Woman.
was a great
Yeah.
movie.
So
I
that was
watched
that
it
really
so
was.
many times.
Serpico was
That
great.
yeah, Serpico was great.
When
you know?
they left him out, you know, holding a bag.
And then
Yeah.
they
And
really
he's yelling at the guy. He goes,
crucified him. Yeah.
Dynamite stuff, Frank. Dynamite stuff. You know, he's all upset. And then The Godfather, he's very subdued. You know, don't ask me
Yeah.
about my business, Kane. Don't ask me about my affairs. Michael, is it true? Don't ask me about my business. Michael, is it true? Enough! This one time, I'll let you ask me about my business. Is it true? Yes, I'm going to be a guest on the Long Island Breakfast Club on Thursday night.
This is true. We're happy to have you.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're gonna have
So
you
we're
some
gonna,
more.
I mean, once this thing, before we even continue, guys, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I just have to let everyone know, my Dallas crew, you know how much I love you. And the Giants, Jets, let's not talk about it. Everybody else, I want them all to join
What are
the
you
bandwagon.
feeling the helmet?
That's right. That's
Jesus
right.
Christ!
I
Look
just
what
very,
you're doing with the helmet.
you're just jealous because I don't hold you like this.
Yeah.
Okay? But I just want to let everybody know I am a Dallas Cowboy fan, true and true.
We know
And
that.
everybody asked me, how did you become a Dallas Cowboy fan? Well, I got to tell you, when I was a kid, real quickly, then we'll get back. But I had to give a quick shout out because I had my friends that were looking.
They're watching?
They thought, yeah. So I think I could have been about 7 years old. We were in Boston, and I was with my cousins, and everybody's hanging out watching TV. My older brother turns around and he says, "What do you want to be, a Redskin or a Cowboy?" I don't know anybody who wanted to be a Redskin, you know. So I was like, "I'll be a Cowboy." And since then, it stuck with me. That's it. And that's how I became. It wasn't like they were winning Super Bowls and I joined the bandwagon. So,
And you can
it's
still be
always
a
been-
Cowboy. You can't be a Redskin
Yeah,
anymore.
you
right?
can't be a
Now
Redskin
have to
anymore.
Be a Washington Football
Yeah,
Club.
right, yeah.
Well,
That's
you
right.
live-
Yeah, they changed all the names.
I was
Yeah.
living that way.
Dream, eat, sleep,
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys. That's it.
Yeah, it's
From
true,
the day
it's
I met
true.
you.
Are the cows upset?
What happened?
I wanted to know if the cows were upset. Maybe they could protest.
Oh my God, yeah. So I'm just letting you guys know. I told you I do it, and they're like, "Oh, every time you say you're going to talk about this." So,
There it is.
guys, I love you, and we'll always stick together. So don't think I didn't.
And
see
I
that.
love you guys too.
She
Valentina loves
just
you.
loves men. It doesn't
That's-
matter, okay? Just men.
That is not
okay?
true. I
And
like
she
great
loves to ride
friends.
the horse.
Yeah, I don't ride horses. You know that.
She like horses. I'm talking
afraid.
about the.
Wow,
You know
the show
again.
is definitely.
He said, "I'm
Yeah,
told
it's
she loves to
goes either
ride
way.
horses."
Yeah, right.
She loves-
I watch
He
horses.
said, "Oh, okay."
It's a little out of order.
I'm really afraid of them.
Little out of
Afraid of them. Well,
Yeah, so-
it's great. Well, we're going to come back to you in a little bit. So, Frank, what's going on in the Department of Labor? Thousands of
Frank,
people.
you're fired.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's what his story's about. But what the hell? I mean, I'm in this business too. I help people that need jobs as well as other things, businesses.
Yes.
But I mean, people don't want to go to work right now because they're making too much money.
I
On
should
unemployment.
beg to differ with you. I spent the last several months on a helpline listening to people.
Okay.
Who really did want to work. I had 2 men in 1 week break down crying.
Well, that
on the
happens.
phone.
We know that.
Right.
They
Yeah.
had never been in this position before. They didn't want to ask for help. And
Right.
it
Well, a lot of
you know,
people
it was
need to
in a
do
way,
that.
It was a man talking to a man.
Right.
And, I tried to kind of, pick them up and say, but they were in the process of losing their houses.
Yes. Well, there are
They've
quite a
never been,
few.
when you fall from that great
That's
height,
right. That's right.
So, I said, look, we did the right thing. You made a phone call. And what I was doing is, I was trained in a variety of things.
Of course,
They were
housing.
loaning us out.
Right.
I had a stack like this thick of resources and people calling, and that hotline would go. And I didn't know what was going to be on the other end. Now, the one biggest problem was that people were calling us for unemployment.
Yes.
Now, as a layperson,
You don't have that.
I
Right,
would
yeah.
not know that the county Department of Labor
Yeah.
doesn't handle that. That's actually handled by the state. But if you're a regular person, especially a person maybe who's never had to ask for help, how
Right.
would you know that?
They'll
You
sort
spend
you.
a lot of time helping people with that, getting them to the website.
Yeah, we get that too at the Breakfast
I'm
Club.
very
Yeah.
satisfied with the kind of work that I'm doing now. You asked about SWEP and stuff. A lot of people don't work with that population. Actually,
Well, I
love
did.
it.
So I give
It's
you
very rewarding.
chin chin. What do they say? Chin chin.
Thank you.
Because I did it for 7 years. You know I did it.
I enjoy
Not
it.
easy.
When you get a success and stuff, I'm always
Yes, it's a
trying to
good
help
feeling.
them out. Actually, I spent some personal time yesterday. A gentleman connected me through LinkedIn. I was out of work and I did something called the Job Search Boot Camp. A great program, and it's now under the umbrella of our county office.
That's
as well.
great. Well, Suffolk has a great program.
And so through LinkedIn, this young man, a recent college graduate, was able to find work. Sent me and said, could you help me? So I was reviewing his resume, and I spent a half an hour on the phone with him, going over his resume, improved. I gave him homework, so I expect him to send me a revised version. And I said, then we're going to work on your LinkedIn, because that's the way people find jobs now.
Well,
it's
it's
the
true.
online, it's the networking.
Yep.
And then I said, then we get the cover letters. But I will be with you 150% if I know that you are going to put the work in.
Right.
I can't want to help you more than one else.
Exactly.
Right,
If
right.
I decide that, then you're out of luck.
Well, that's what happens. Sometimes they don't want to do it.
There are people, you know,
Yeah.
and unfortunately there's a stereotype about my population. You know, there's a vast stereotype about our
Yes.
country. We almost criminalized poverty. I feel bad about that. Really, the vast majority of people don't want health assistance. Trust me. It's you know, yes, the $600 is wonderful and helpful and stuff, but you know, there's a lot of
Well, it's over now.
political and other perceptions and stuff out there. But you know, most people they want
To work.
We
Yeah.
want to work. We want to earn our way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actualize ourselves. So it's a pleasure for me working here. Also, got more job security than I ever know. No
Well,
one ever
you're not
told-
going to get laid
no
off
one
now.
ever told me about civil service, and that's something I wish I had known. Same thing with career and technical education.
Right.
I worked one summer. I worked with a high school buddy of mine doing roofing years ago, a little younger. When they were on a roof, and I said, "Steve, you're really good at this. Where'd you learn this?" BOCES.
BOCES, right.
But it had a stigma. That's the other thing. I work on. I do some advocacy as well. Like you talked about, Peter. We talked about bipolar before. I have the wonderful distinction of having bipolar, which I denied for a long time because of the stigma. So now these days,
But you cured it,
come
and
out. Well, I don't
yeah.
want to say cured it. I managed.
You know, I think everybody
But
has
I'm
some
going
form
out
of a
there-
bipolar.
We
You
all
know,
have
I
it.
think everybody.
Especially if
It's
you're
like-
Italian.
It's like, yeah,
Italian, forget about
It's true,
it.
right? It's true. You know?
But I'm going out there
You know?
to reduce that stigma.
But you
so that
have.
People
That's great.
can ask for help, be treated with dignity, and that there's resources for them.
And
So
there
thank
are
you.
help. There is help. And your story's all similar to
My story
you
does
fired
talk
yourself,
about that.
right?
That's it.
Because of it. So it's great. And then we go back to the Long Island Volunteer Hall of Fame. How much fun we had with Diana O'Neill.
I've had a lot of
We were on a
pleasure
board
working
together.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
human
Was she
services
always
and
like this?
nonprofit.
I have to ask everybody. Was she?
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much.
All right.
Yeah,
Everybody's been
that's it.
consistent with the stories.
Yes.
So
But yes to fault or
I
yes to...
still love it.
I said, how could you not love her? You know?
They thought I was crazy at that meeting, some of those women, remember? They're
Well,
like,
you
she's
know, the
crazy.
nonprofit field, you know,
She'll never do it.
They never encounter somebody like you. You're a ball of energy.
Oh, yeah, she is. And then some.
We wound up getting a place in the Bethpage State Park.
Carlisle, I agree.
Yeah, right. So,
Yeah, before we continue, I have to give some quick shout outs. Jenny A, Jenny C, Susie, Stacy, Patricia, Jimmy, Jenny, Hal, Danielle, Saba, how are you,
all the
sweetie?
people that's watching.
Marco, Darren, Jessie Ann, how are you, hon? Mom's looking over you, you know that, looking over all of us. I miss you, honey. I miss your family, miss everybody. Hugs and kisses. Donna, Yvette, Phil, what's up, buddy? Rudolph, we have Richard, Chris, Steve. We have the residentialist. Wait, the residential artist. I keep saying the residentialist.
Love her.
Like the mentalist, you know, that's what I'm thinking of.
Taz is
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
draws for Fox 5 News,
Yeah.
and she draws us.
So
while
like
we're
right now,
on
as
the
we're
show.
talking, she'll draw a picture of us
I
right
love
now.
it.
Yeah. So Jill, how are you? Drew, Jimmy. Then you have Diane. I think we have another Scotta. Oh, yeah, I think I do. Yeah. Janice. We have Art. Rachel, how are you, hon? Blow it up.
Oh, I love
And
Rachel.
Rachel said before
The
she goes,
blend.
Rachel goes, I don't want to run the world. I just want to sing it.
Yeah, she's a great singer.
John, she's great. John, how you doing, buddy? Deneen, how are you? Ray, Rachel again. Kalik, Kayak Lee, or Kike Lee?
Yeah, we have people from
K-A-I-K-Lee.
all over that watch us.
Johnson, how you doing? Michael Johnson, how you doing, buddy? Joaquin, we have Francis and Renee. We have Kevin, Mr. Kevin Camper, my distinguished lieutenant, past lieutenant governor, and I'm always going to address you as distinguished because you're distinguished to me. Hats off to you. Then we have Nancy. How are you, Nancy? Jimmy, how are you, buddy? Ali, we have Jeff, we have Michael.
Great.
How are you, Mike?
Nice.
Another Debbie, Tom.
Thank you guys for
Garcia,
watching.
Another Susan, and Kevin. Go Giants. You know what? Now I'm gonna delete you. Okay?
It's
You had me at hello.
explosive now.
You had me at hello. But anyway,
Explosive, no Giants.
so yeah.
Well, this was a really nice show so
But I gotta
far.
tell you, you know what? I want this thing to be over with because Rich said he's gonna DJ, and once this thing is, you know, back in.
All right, so when are you bringing
back
Paul
to-
Anka?
I'm gonna. In fact, I brought you guys.
Did you?
I brought you guys. I had a song out. I wrote it, produced it. We did a
Thank
elaborate
you.
video.
Did you really?
And yeah, and there's a couple of different versions.
Thank
So
you.
I got a couple of parting gifts for
Italian
you.
bread,
Yeah.
you can get CDs.
You want to trade the sandwich with it?
There you
Say,
go.
what'd you say? Take the
Trade the
sandwich
sandwich.
for the bread.
Wow, that's
Right.
really nice of you. See,
I have,
Italians like
yeah,
to
whatever you
give.
guys like. I gave Greg some mixes when I first met him, and
Yeah.
whatever you like.
Oh,
I have everything.
really?
From 60s up to
What does that mean?
including Italian.
See?
Well, no,
See
music.
what I'm talking Okay, see, you think I was joking?
Nah, he knows I'm a nice person.
Yeah.
Really. I'm trying to help you too. I'm trying
Of
to
course
connect you
you
to
do.
people.
He's such a good guy, and this is.
I
this is
know.
a dynamite
Sal
spot.
Valentinetti, he wouldn't stop talking about him today on the phone.
Sal, I love you, know that.
Sal, thank you very much.
Sal's a class act.
Happy
He really,
birthday,
really is.
Sal.
Happy
We miss
birthday,
you.
buddy. And when you come on, we're going to celebrate your birthday.
Oh, forget about
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a
he
party
really
to
is.
die
He's
for.
another class act.
He really is.
And you know what? I got to tell you, when I first met him a few years back, and it's not that I'm not starstruck or anything, because I'm just not. And I know you were talking about the Rat Pack, and I met the Rat Pack. I met all of those guys. But to me, you know, my dad was around all that stuff. So when I see somebody, you know, I'm like, your face is familiar. I don't forget a face, but I can't put the name with that, because I don't really care to. It's not like I don't care about you. I mean, if I know you, it's a different story. And just sitting there talking to people, and you know, there's always crazy stories that people are talking to me, and all of a sudden later, like, do you know who you're talking to? I'm like, no, it was like Brad Pitt, one story.
Yeah,
And
he's
Anthony
that
Quinn,
guy,
I'm talking
yeah.
to, and the guy, I really want to smack the hell out of him, because I dropped my change on the floor, and the guy's going, that's my change, don't touch it. He was really nasty with me. I'm like, dude, take it easy. I said, it came out of my pocket. He goes, I don't care. What, because you're a big guy? Well, you know? And I looked at him, I was like, buddy, you better relax yourself, all right? This is years back.
It was
And
somebody special.
Not realizing who he was, and he goes, all right, I'll let you keep the change, like that, you know? So I just picked up the change, and then all of a sudden he comes over, he gives me a hug, and another guy goes, you know who that is? And I said, no. I said, it looks familiar. But and they said, it was Anthony Quinn.
Anthony Quinn.
And I said, I'm so sorry. He goes, I just felt like fucking with you. You're a big guy. You know, and I said, really? You really want to do that?
So good agree.
You know, so
Yeah,
agree.
that was a
Yeah,
great
that was
movie.
a
I love
great-
that
was
dance
a-
they
yeah.
did. The
That was a-
dance is
yeah,
over the great.
yeah.
That was like very famous.
Yeah, he's a great artist.
Yeah, I know.
He paints. He does these paintings that are really beautiful. I didn't know that. I found that out later.
Well, I wanted to ask you one thing. Hold your horse together. I stood out. What does it mean in your book?
Boy, that's a long.
All right, well,
Right,
make
right,
it
yeah,
no,
make it short.
not
Try to
long.
make it short.
Yeah.
So what happens is, okay, let's say you're walking and you trip, and your weight goes forward, and you have to take a couple of quick steps to right yourself. Okay, so when you hold your horse together, horses have 4 legs, so sometimes they get their weight on their front end of the 2 legs.
Mhm.
So that puts a lot of strain on their knees and their shoulders and their ankles on the front. So you have to kind of redistribute their weight with your skill to make it a short, I'm not going to tell you how to do that, but with your skill, you can redistribute the horse's weight so that they carry it equally.
Wow, you really got to know what you're doing.
Well, it's more technical than it plays out. You know, to explain it, it takes a long time to explain it. But some people just have a natural knack
Well,
for it.
obviously
And
you
they
do.
do it naturally, which I believe is what makes a good rider, is they do these things naturally, without even knowing they're doing it. Whereas let's say someone who comes into the game when they're 30, 35, then you have to explain each little section.
So it's
Why would
the
you do
young
that?
ones that really get it.
Yeah, the young kids, you know, you just, let's go out and go running, you know, we're gonna just race, let's play tag. And then their horse stumbles and they go, oh, well, I guess I better redistribute the weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, to keep
Good
myself
advice.
from falling out. So to hold your horse together, it means to hold them with your hands up and
And hold them.
but push
Really,
them,
yeah.
push them from behind.
You have that relationship with the
so that
horse.
It goes up into the bridle so that the circuit is
That's
round.
Wow.
that sounded different. I was trying to redistribute. You're talking about? That's what you're talking about with the weight wise? You mean?
Yeah.
By pulling up?
Well,
Is
no,
that-
you don't just pull
Oh.
back because then they're going to stop. You support them.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
It's like if you're going to help somebody out of a
Get,
ditch,
right.
you don't pull them, you just,
Yeah, because if I fell and he tried to pick me up, I'd be like, wait.
right.
I'd be like,
Like
wait,
they're
don't
gonna rip
touch
They're
me.
going to rip your arm off, right? They're just going to pull right. I got you.
So you can help her just by being there.
You gonna
I'll
help
just
me?
leave her in there.
Too much work.
Well, thank God it hasn't happened, so.
That's it.
May I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Because I was very surprised when you told me that you're a jockey, because you said it's a boys' club. I don't know that I've ever seen female jockeys.
Oh, there are.
I heard a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't play the
yeah.
I'm
horses.
not going to try to say that I'm a
Julie
big horse
Crowe.
person.
No,
Right.
no, there are plenty.
Yeah, there are plenty, yeah.
What would you say?
I would say 5 to 10%.
Okay, so
That's a big.
That's
little
good, it's a good
percentage.
amount, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it's not like there's any prejudice outright. I mean, there is at the beginning.
It's like anything else.
Right, like,
You know.
I mean, if you have a mole on the side of your face, like the difference got a mole on the side of your face, you know, they're gonna take anything they can to throw dirt on you.
If you're a woman or no,
It doesn't
anyone,
matter.
anyone, a man, a woman, whatever.
They just don't want you there. And they try to make you go away. And
But you
that's
gotta be a
because
fighter.
It's so competitive.
Right.
Because the reason it's competitive is because it's so lucrative.
Well, you see,
See, I didn't realize what, I don't mean to cut you off, but I turned around and a lot of my friends own horses. Now, I lost a lot of money investing in a horse. But a friend of mine said to me, hey, listen, invest this X amount, blah, blah, blah. And he had a lot of champion horses. And his partner is this Arabian guy, which is a really nice guy. And that was the first loss I ever had of a lot of money.
oh jeez, I wouldn't have
And
wanted
I
to
gotta
be
tell you
there.
something, this thing out of the race, something happened, tripped, the thing busted its leg. I said, my luck, you know, it really did. And that was my history of horse racing. But jockeys, I didn't realize that you could have a jockey. See, I always thought you had one jockey for just that horse, you know, and where you see jockeys, sometimes you see them in 3, 4 races. I didn't know that.
You can have a different jockey. every
Yeah,
day.
I didn't know that.
And what happens is the owner or the trainer puts on the jockey, and let's say the horse finishes second, and then an agent calls, hey, you know, this guy
Right,
finished
right.
second, and you gotta use my guy, you know, you would
Right.
have won, your horse should have won by 10. So
She
then-
does that language down
See, but
pat.
now let me ask you. Now, as strong as a horse is, that's why people say, yeah, you see them pulling back. Do humans have that much strength? Especially when they're that small, especially when guys are small. I mean, I can understand my weight. I'm 260. I'm 6'4". And I know if I yank on it on a horse, I might make a little bit of a difference, but I don't think so.
You are a gnat.
See, that's what I mean.
That's a good word, thank
Really,
you. You're a
in
guy.
comparison to a horse. So when people
Oh,
say, yeah,
man.
you see the
That makes
jockey
me-
yanking, I'm like, that's really not good.
You're
60.
260. So what is 25% of your weight? 50.
Just right, 60.
How easy is it for you to pick up 60 pounds? It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Nat.
so in other words, and so what I'm trying to say is, so a jockey really doesn't have, right, it's like 100, right, 110, right.
And horses,
Yeah.
at the most, thoroughbreds are probably around 1,000.
Right,
So you're talking 10% of your weight. 10% of my weight is 11 pounds. So
What is
that's
that
like
gonna
a
do?
shot put.
Right,
I didn't,
right.
you know, shot put is not.
yeah, because people say, you ever seen him? No, the jockey was pulling, he was holding a horseback. I'm going, how?
The reason you have to be fit and have stamina and these kind of things is when it comes time to troubleshoot, then that's when you need to be able to be there for the horse. You have to be able to have the strength and the stamina and what have you to help the horse in that situation. But to ride a horse who is naturally balanced and is friendly and nice, it's the easiest most.
It's a dream, I guess, right? It's a dream, yeah.
It's like driving a Cadillac that never runs out of gas.
Wow. It's down on my bucket list, I'm afraid.
Fred Carmen, how are you, Carmen? How you doing, sweetie? Carmen wrote, I adopted a Mustang from BLM, whatever that means, BLM, I don't know.
It's a
I
horse,
had
I
to
guess,
train,
right?
had to train the wildness out of them, but it's not about the strength, it's about proper control methods, that's it, okay.
Well, thank you for
Oh,
writing.
you were right there, love.
Very
Hey,
nice.
2 thumbs up.
So what's your advice? Because I always give advice.
Don't ride a horse.
As far as somebody that is, no, I'm going on to Frank now. You know, someone that's really, I'm going to say 50 plus, because that was my issue all along. 50 plus, can't get a job, too smart, too old, make too much money. What do you say?
And he dated the wrong guy.
You gotta show them that us old dogs, and speaking about myself here too, that we can learn new tricks, you gotta be adaptable, and I practiced what I called relentless positivity. Every no was a, you know what, you're a loss, and I just did not stop.
You
Somebody
cut your losses and go
Right.
move on.
my hand and said, you're hired, and then of course I decided to go on the civil service. My main advice though is the attitude.
Right.
Is you gotta keep yourself, and I know you're gonna have tough days, I had tough days too, but you just gotta keep your forward momentum. If you do the greatest thing you do.
Right.
And you say you're hired,
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
did you do the thing in the car, you know, that I did for 5 years? Eating ice cream, crying in the car.
I had some
Look-
different things, I could relate those to the client. Sometimes it was like, I don't wanna get out of bed under the covers and stuff, and say
Right.
stuff. I don't wanna go to another networking meeting.
F her, she was a bitch.
So, you know,
Yeah.
it acts as an advantage by me being able to tell myself.
Well, you're a
which I
leader.
Sometimes disclose, not always, to a client, you know, and sometimes I'm getting some static from people, and I always, my colleagues are always amazed, I call it Jedi mind tricks. I practice verbal judo, I don't give them anything to push against, and eventually I kind of turn
Right.
things around. I go, how'd you do that person? They came in cussing and this and that.
Well, you're good with people. You're very good with people.
Nobody's going to listen to you until you convince them that you're trying to help them.
Exactly.
Yep, that's it.
Exactly.
But you can't help somebody if they don't help themselves.
Exactly. You gotta want it.
If I
Right.
discern that, you're
I'm
dead
telling
to
you,
work.
yeah,
And I'm going to
it's
tell you
true.
that too.
Yeah.
I had a sign in my cubicle. It said, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. Not going to get you very far.
Very good.
That's
So how do
true.
people that live in Suffolk can come to your program, or?
Well, you got to be on public assistance and you will be referred by the
Okay.
social service once you get it. However, our headquarters right in Hopkins is available.
Yeah, I know
We're
about
hoping to reopen in September to
Right.
have services for people
Right.
under the circumstances. There's also the New York State Department of Labor.
Right.
They've got an office in downtown Patchogue.
Yeah. Well, I think Suffolk has a great program, and you know, I'm not one with compliments
Okay.
because I, you know, have my own thing that I do for
That's right.
the
That's
unemployment,
right.
and
Yeah,
Suffolk has more
We
programs.
have
There's
a
a-
new commissioner, and I think she's doing everything. She comes out and being more services.
Yeah, good. All right, thank you, Frank. So, Richie,
That's what
let's have some more fun here.
We got a lot of
You know what? We have a couple of guests out there. We have the husband sitting in the corner. I know they put baby in the corner. Never put baby
Baby's
in
in
the
the
corner.
corner. Your husband.
How are you? How you doing?
Nice and quiet.
Comedian Larry is-
And we have a nice
And
man.
Larry, how you doing, babe? Good.
All right, man.
There we go.
Hopefully you'll come back, Larry. Visit us.
Definitely.
That's
Yes,
it. That's
okay.
it.
Have you on my podcast.
That's
Oh,
it. There you go.
well,
That's
there
it.
you go.
That's it. I like that. I like that.
We're a team.
We're a package
You're
deal.
on.
Okay, we're a team.
You know how they say you want to, like you were talking about, you know, you want to teach old dogs a new trick.
He's trying to teach me. Yeah.
Either that or you kill it. I'm still, you know, I still have a little bit of faith. But listen, guys, I want to thank you very, very much for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate it.
pleasure.
I know I'll definitely be seeing you soon.
Absolutely.
Probably
Oh,
this week.
Richie, we're gonna have to have a drink.
Yeah, so
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, I love that.
there you go. That's it.
I like
He's gonna ask you
that.
to come over.
There you go.
Okay?
Too bad you don't sing
With
Paulenka.
his job, it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up.
That's it.
Way to go. Way to go.
No, she keeps asking me.
Really? Don Rickles?
I'll do Rodney.
Okay.
Right, I'll tell you, last week I did a show for midgets. They gave me a standing ovation. I didn't even know. I'm a jockey, right? I bet on a horse last week. How's the horse doing it? He's still running. They're paying the jockey overtime.
Oh, God. I love your voice. Really nice.
Guys, we really want to thank you so much for coming on.
Come
Good
here.
luck
I hope
on your
you
book.
enjoyed it.
Really,
Yeah.
good luck. Really.
Yeah, we
And
need
do,
some cards.
yeah, you're something. You're a piece
I
of work.
like something.
Yeah, that's
Piece of
you're a
work.
good.
Hey.
That's something I've been called.
Not only that,
That's a good thing.
we're friends for years.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
good.
his mom, his wife, everybody.
Good luck on that one. Okay.
They like me.
She's a bad petty.
That's it. Keeps coming back. Yeah.
I think you know.
Yeah, I'm telling you. You know what it is? Listen, she's like that Flintstone cat. You ever seen the beginning of Flintstone? Listen, the cat, they throw the cat out. Look, you throw the cat out, they come right back in all the time. I've been throwing this cat a long time, and I'd like to hell with it, you know? That's it. No, she's the best. She can.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we have to thank our sponsors, Long Island Jewish Valley Stream Hospital, Northwell. They're great. It's no longer Franklin. I have to tell that because a lot of people, because they're like, what are you talking about, Valley Stream? It used to be the old Franklin General. It was like a morgue before, I'll tell you.
It's
You went in there
beautiful.
and you weren't guaranteed to come out, but now it's great. I got to tell you something.
They
It's-
have
it's-
everything.
it's
They have a brand
everything
new
under the sun,
program
everything.
for osteo.
Yeah.
Best program on Long Island.
And then we have Mr. Paulie P. Puccio, which is the,
UCCIO.
which
He's the
is-
honeydew. Do you know what a honeydew is?
she wants
Got
that.
a honeydew list every
That's what he
That's it.
does.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, gotta do that. That's it.
That's what he does. You
Yeah.
hire him and he does whatever you want.
And then we gotta thank Tranquility Spa. It's a great place. You gotta go there to
Absolutely.
relax. It's at 700 Franklin Avenue in Franklin Square. You definitely gotta go tell her that the Long Island Breakfast Club show sent you. And then we have Oro Puro, Teddy, that's, I mean, I don't
Teddy,
even know what
here's
to say.
my pin today.
Teddy, she's
Not
got you
today.
all over
This
her
is old.
body. Ted-
Teddy gave me this pin.
Teddy gives everything. That's what she walks in.
I get-
Stop
like-
it. She can't go anywhere, but she finds a way to Teddy's jewelry stop.
But I didn't go today. But this is from weeks ago. No, I have to go see
I
him.
know, I have to go every week. Okay?
He's cappuccino, right? You go there. So see,
That's
she
it.
knows. Good.
And,
And that's it. So that's a great day, and you guys were
and
great.
guys, thank you so much.
But
and
before
hope to
you
see
go, you guys get gifts, all right? This one is yours. No, you said you wanted Raisinets. This one is yours, Snow Caps.
Break it, break
And
it.
you get the marijuana and the cake. Because for some reason,
Something
I
about this
got a friend that I
marijuana.
can give that to.
I think
I'm not gonna mention
that
any
knowing
names.
you,
Hey,
so,
Larry, here.
We'll just look at the price
So-
and whistle.
There you go.
all right? So far I figured that you would like that.
Thank you so much.
But-
And I know we'll definitely see you.
Absolutely.
Definitely again. And Larry, looking forward to you coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
Yeah,
buddy?
come on,
Really, really,
Larry.
definitely, definitely.
We'll tear you apart.
So
That'll be a good show.
Okay.
I told you she'll grab you. Who's your daddy? She'll be right. I mean, galloping like on a horse, you know.
No, seriously, it's half and half. We want to help the
It is half and
community. We're here to help the community.
Okay, anyway, listen, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. And it's a.
It's a wrap.
All right.